Robin Williams hung up the phone at 5 a.m. after talking to a dying woman named Emily Patterson for 3 hours. He was exhausted, but felt good. He'd made someone's last days a little brighter. 20 hours later, Emily's husband called Robin back. "She's gone," he said, "but I need you to know something about her last words." It started 2 weeks earlier in a hospice facility in Portland, Oregon. Emily Patterson, 52 years old, had been fighting stage 4 pancreatic cancer for 18 months. The doctors had done everything they could. Chemotherapy, radiation, experimental treatments. Nothing worked. The cancer was too aggressive, too widespread. Now she was in hospice, and everyone knew what that meant. Days, maybe a week at most. The hospice had a program where they tried to fulfill final wishes for their patients. Usually it was simple things: a favorite meal, a visit from a distant relative, one last trip to see the ocean if the patient was strong enough. When the hospice social worker, a woman named Karen, asked Emily what her final wish was, Emily didn't hesitate. "I want to talk to Robin Williams." Karen smiled, assuming Emily was joking. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? "No," Emily said, completely serious. "That's what I want. That's my wish."
Karen's smile faded. "Emily, I don't think we can arrange that. Robin Williams is one of the most famous people in the world. We don't have any way to contact him." "Then find a way," Emily said. There was a fierceness in her voice that surprised everyone. Emily had been quiet, accepting, almost passive about her dying process. But suddenly she had focus, determination. Her husband, Michael, sitting beside her bed, squeezed her hand. "Honey, maybe we should think of something more realistic?" "I've been realistic for 18 months, Emily said. "I've accepted every terrible thing that's happened to me. I've been brave, I've been strong, I've made peace with dying. But I have one thing I want before I go, and it's this. I want to talk to Robin Williams." "Why Robin?" Karen asked gently. Emily's eyes filled with tears. "Because for 6 months, I haven't felt anything. The pain medication numbs everything. The pain, but also the joy. I can't laugh anymore. I can't feel happy. I'm just existing until I stop existing. But I remember laughing at Robin Williams movies."
So Karen started making calls. She contacted the hospital's administration, who contacted their public relations department, who contacted their board of directors. Someone knew someone who knew someone who had worked with Robin Williams on a charity event. The chain of contacts led to Robin's publicist, who politely but firmly said that Mr. Williams received thousands of such requests and couldn't possibly accommodate them all. Karen explained that this wasn't a publicity opportunity. No press, no photos, no publicity. Just a dying woman who wanted one phone call. The publicist said she'd pass the message along, but couldn't make any promises. 3 days passed. Emily was getting worse. She was sleeping most of the time now, and when she was awake, the pain was becoming harder to manage, even with maximum medication. Then, on the 4th day, Karen's phone rang. "This is Robin Williams," the voice said. "I heard about Emily. Is she still able to talk?" Karen almost dropped the phone. Yes, she is. Oh my God, thank you so much." "What's the best time to call her?" Robin asked. "Honestly, we don't know how much time she has left. Any time you can call would be a blessing."
"I'm finishing up some work stuff tonight," Robin said. "I could call around midnight West Coast time. That's 3 a.m. in Portland. Is that too late?" "Mr. Williams, you could call at any hour, and it would be perfect." "Call me Robin," he said, "and tell Emily I'm looking forward to talking with her." That evening, Karen told Emily that Robin Williams was going to call her around 3 a.m. Emily, who'd been barely conscious most of the day, suddenly became alert. "Really? He's really gonna call?" "He's really gonna call," Karen confirmed. Emily looked at Michael. I need to stay awake. I need to be coherent. Can we reduce my pain medication so I'm more alert? The hospice doctor was hesitant. Emily, that's going to mean you'll be in more pain. I don't care, Emily said. I've been numb for months. I want to be present for this conversation. I want to feel it, even if it hurts. So they reduced her medication, and Emily felt the pain return. Sharp, constant, exhausting. But she also felt more awake, more herself than she'd been in weeks. Michael stayed up with her. At 2:30 a.m., Emily was sitting up in bed, phone in her hand, waiting. She was in pain, but her eyes were bright with anticipation. At 3:07 a.m., her phone rang. Emily answered immediately. Hello? Emily? This is Robin Williams. I heard you wanted to chat. Emily started crying. You really called. I can't believe you really called. Of course I called, Robin said. I heard you're a fan of my work, and I'm always happy to talk to people with excellent taste in comedy. Emily laughed through her tears. It was a small laugh, but it was real. Michael, watching from the chair beside her bed, felt his own eyes fill with tears. He hadn't heard his wife laugh in 6 months. I don't want to take up too much of your time, Emily said. I know you're busy. Emily, Robin said gently, I've got all night. I cleared my whole schedule for you. We can talk about anything you want for as long as you want. And they did. Robin started by asking Emily about herself. Not about the cancer, not about dying, about her life. What did she do for work? What were her hobbies? What made her happy? Emily, surprised to be asked about something other than her illness, started talking. She told Robin about her work as a librarian, about her love of mystery novels, about her garden that she'd had to abandon when she got too sick to maintain it. Robin listened to all of it, asked follow-up questions, seemed genuinely interested in every detail. Then he started making her laugh. He did voices, characters she remembered from his movies, celebrities, ridiculous accents. He told stories about film sets, about his kids, about embarrassing moments in his career. Emily laughed, really laughed, the kind of deep, genuine laughter that uses your whole body. Michael watched in amazement. His wife, who'd been barely conscious a few hours ago, was alive, not just physically present, but truly alive, in a way he hadn't seen since before the diagnosis. At one point, about an hour into the conversation, Emily had to stop because the laughter was making her cough. When she recovered, she said to Robin, "This hurts so much, but I don't care. I forgot what it felt like to laugh. I forgot what it felt like to be happy." Pain and joy aren't opposites, Robin said. Sometimes they exist together. Sometimes the things that make us feel most alive are the things that hurt. They talked about life, death, fear, hope. Robin shared his own struggles with depression, making himself vulnerable in a way that gave Emily permission to be vulnerable too. "Are you scared?" Robin asked her gently. "Terrified," Emily admitted. "Not of being dead, but of the moment of dying, of that transition from being to not being." "I think that's the most natural fear in the world," Robin said. "But you know what I think? I think the moment of transition is probably the easiest part. It's the living with knowing it's coming that's hard. And you've been doing that with so much courage." Emily started crying again. "I don't feel courageous. I feel like I've just been enduring." "That's what courage is," Robin said. "It's not about not being afraid. It's about being terrified and getting up every day anyway." They talked for 3 hours about movies, books, gardens, children, regrets, joys, memories, about everything and nothing. At 6 a.m., Emily's voice was getting weak. "Robin, I need to let you go. I'm getting tired." "Emily,
"Thank you for spending your time with me," Robin said. "Talking to you has been a gift." "Thank you," Emily whispered. "Thank you for making me feel alive again before I die." "You are alive," Robin said firmly. "Right now, in this moment, you are so alive. Remember that." They said goodbye. Emily handed the phone to Michael and immediately fell asleep, exhausted but peaceful. Michael looked at his wife's face. She was smiling in her sleep. She looked more at peace than she'd been in months. 20 hours later, Emily woke up briefly. She looked at Michael and said, "I'm ready now. I got what I needed. I got to laugh one more time." 3 hours after that, Emily Patterson died. Peacefully, painlessly, with that same small smile on her face. Michael sat with her body for a long time, holding her hand, crying, but also feeling grateful. His wife had died happy. After 18 months of suffering, her last coherent day had been filled with joy. The next day, Michael found the piece of paper where the hospice had written Robin Williams' phone number for Emily to call him back if she wanted to. Michael stared at the number for a long time. Then he picked up the phone and dialed. Robin answered on the second ring. "Hello? Mr. Williams, this is Michael Patterson, Emily's husband." There was a pause. Robin's voice when he spoke was heavy. "She's gone, isn't she?" "Yes. She died yesterday evening. But I needed to call you. I needed you to know something." "I'm so sorry," Robin said. "She was a remarkable person." "Her last words," Michael said, his voice breaking. "Before she went into the final unconsciousness, she woke up and she said, 'I'm ready now. I got what I needed. I got to laugh one more time.' You gave her that. You gave my wife joy in her final hours. You gave her laughter when nothing else could. You gave her peace." Robin was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, he was crying. "Thank you for telling me that. I've been wondering, hoping that the call helped her. Knowing it did means everything." "It didn't just help her," Michael said. "It changed everything. She'd been in so much pain, so much fear. After your call, that was gone. She was ready. She was happy. Because of you." "Because of her," Robin corrected gently. "She had the courage to ask for what she needed. She had the strength to stay present for that conversation, even though it meant being in more pain. That was all her courage." Michael told Robin about how Emily had reduced her pain medication to be more alert for the call, about how she'd laughed despite the pain, about the smile on her face when she died. "I don't know how to thank you," Michael said. "You didn't have to call her. You could have said no. But you didn't. You gave her 3 hours of your life, and those 3 hours..." They talked for another 20 minutes. Robin asked about the funeral, about how Michael was doing, about Emily's family. He offered genuine condolence, genuine care. Before they hung up, Robin said, "Michael, if you ever need to talk, if you ever need anything, you have my number now. Please use it." Michael did call a few times in the months after Emily's death, when the grief was too heavy, when he needed to talk to someone who'd known Emily's voice in those final hours, who'd heard her laugh. And Robin always answered, always had time, always listened. Years later, Michael gave an interview about Emily's death. He talked about the phone call, about Robin's kindness. "People think of Robin Williams as this great comedian," Michael said. And he was. But what I'll always remember is that he was a person who understood what dying people need. Not pity, not sadness. They need to feel alive. They need joy. They need laughter. Robin gave my wife 3 hours of feeling completely, gloriously alive right before she died.
That's a gift beyond measure. Robin Williams never spoke publicly about the call. He kept Emily's story private, sacred. But his family said that he talked about it often in his last years.
Dad was always trying to figure out if his work mattered, Robin's daughter Zelda said in a memorial tribute. If making people laugh was important, or if it was just entertainment. The call with Emily convinced him that it mattered, that sometimes laughter isn't just entertainment. It's healing. It's medicine. It's what makes unbearable things bearable. Emily Patterson died on a Tuesday morning in Portland, Oregon. She died peacefully, joyfully, having spent her last conscious hours laughing with a stranger who became in those 3 hours one of the most important people in her life. And Robin Williams, who spent 3 hours on the phone with a dying woman he'd never met and would never meet, was reminded of the most important truth of his career. That comedy isn't about the jokes, it's about the connection. It's about making someone feel less alone. It's about giving someone permission to feel joy, even in the darkest moments. Emily wanted to laugh one more time before she died. Robin gave her that. And in doing so, he gave her family a priceless gift. The knowledge that their wife, their mother, their loved one had died happy. That's not just comedy. That's compassion in its purest form. And it all started with a dying woman's impossible wish, a phone call at 3 a.m., and a comedian who understood that sometimes the most important performance of your life happens with an audience of one.